जय भारत। वेलकम टू डेफ टॉक्स क्लिप्स बाय आदि अचिंत। जैसे ही आपने मेरे बड़े चैनल जो डेफ टॉक्स बाय आदि है उसको आपने जिस तरह से सपोर्ट करा, उसी तरह से ये हमारे क्लिप्स के चैनल को, जहां पर आपको छोटे छोटे अपडेट्स, छोटे छोटे शॉर्ट्स और छोटी छोटी कहानियां मिलेंगी, इसी को भी सपोर्ट जरूर कीजिएगा। लाइक का बटन जरूर दबाइए, सब्सक्राइब तो ऑब्वियसली करिए, बेल आइकॉन दबाना बिल्कुल मत भूलिएगा। एंड हाँ जी, प्लीज अपने दोस्तों के साथ, फैमिलीज के साथ ये वीडियोस जरूर शेयर करिएगा। एंजॉय करिए ये क्लिप को। जय हिंद। When you were talking, that I thought of is that when you're talking about global geopolitics, what are the powers being mentioned? You're talking about USA, you're talking about Russia, you're talking about India, you're talking about China. That's it. Then
Maybe Iran to some extent.
Maybe Iran to a certain extent. But
yeah.
These are the guys that are being spoken about today.
It's four nations. It's always four nations. These are the only four genuinely sovereign nations: India, Russia, the US, Russia, China, India. That's it. There's no other nation that is fully sovereign. Not even France.
Nope.
Not even Iran. Iran is so dependent on so many things.
Yeah.
These are the only four nations that truly matter in the world.
So this is very interesting. That just tells you that the entire hawa about the European Union being a certain power center is gone. It's over.
No, it's nothing. See, I'll tell you what. If you look at people think of the US, people think of the UK still as a major power. I'll tell you what the UK is. The UK is a poor third-rate country attached to London. And London is the one of the major it's one of the major money laundering centers of the West.
Yep.
All the money is washed in London. London is this major financial center, and it has a poor third-rate nation attached to it. That's all the UK is.
So, okay? If I may, I'll just pull this up. I've actually made a map showcasing that. Right. So I've actually done that. So I'll take your review for it, guys. Some of you would know about this particular map, but there you go.
Oh yeah. We would like to see this, certainly.
So
United Republic of Ireland needs to happen. Yes, absolutely. Republic of Scotland, yes. Northumbria, sadly.
Islamic Republic, so that's a problem.
Yes. Well, that's a problem they've created for themselves. So yeah,
what you're saying is absolutely right.
yeah, it is. Yes, I kind of concur very much with this map. Yes, I would like to see it actually go ahead in this manner.
Yeah. Right, please. Sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead. I thought
no problem. That was a good map. Good map. So when it comes to the UK, it's a poor third-rate nation, backward nation attached to London, and that's the only good thing about the UK is London from the Western perspective. It's one of the global money laundering hubs. When it comes to the EU. The EU is essentially Western Europe, and there is a lot of big intersection of the EU with NATO as well. So when it comes to the EU, the entire structure and foundation of the EU is such that there is pooled sovereignty, which means none of the nations that are part of the EU are genuinely sovereign. A significant portion of the sovereignty is sent to Brussels, and Brussels has so much power, even though it's a kind of an unelected, thing. Brussels, which is the headquarters of the European Union. Similarly, we have NATO. NATO also has pooled sovereignty, which means any nation that's a part of NATO, it gives away a part of its sovereignty and military control to the NATO headquarters. And the NATO head will typically be somebody from Europe, either some northern European country or Germany or whatever. But the real power is obviously in the US. Similarly, when it comes to the EU, the real power is in the US. So the EU nations are nations that aren't really sovereign, and as you can see, these nations are being ruined now economically through various means. Various policies are being enacted that are starving these nations of much needed energy. Look at Germany is the best example. Their entire economic engine was being powered by cheap gas coming in from Russia. To power an economy, you need energy, you need abundant energy, you need plentiful readily available energy and cheap energy. That's how an economy booms, and that's been cut off. The Nord Stream thing happened. The Russian gas no longer comes. They are now burning coal. They've switched off their nuclear power plants. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? But that's what they're doing. So the entire EU economy is going backwards, and then there's the immigration factor. I mean, the one thing the Third Reich had was racial purity. Racial purity. So you want to destroy. I mean, the I think the Americans are still worried about Germany. I mean, whenever they think of Germany, they remember the Deutschland über alles, and they see those marching boots,
Mm,
they see the
mm.
Hugo Boss uniforms. So what they're doing is they're robbing Germany of its racial purity, and all the other EU nations also, through this artificial mass immigration that's been going on for such a long time. There could be some token moves to limit immigration and let's say deport some people, but I think we are far too late for that. The horses have bolted now. That's how I see it. So I see the EU as well. It's not a geopolitical power center. There is no power in the EU. The only EU, I mean, the only power is, when it comes to Western Europe, the only power, the true power, is the US, even though it's geographically not part of Western Europe. So in Europe, we have two power centers. One is the US, the other is Russia. That's how it is.
That's I you bring about a very interesting sort of a paradigm which is actually opening out here, is because where you see and this is where you see the whole, if you look at wokeism as per se, you mentioned the boots, and that's where wokeism comes into my mind. Recently I was reading about why wokeism was created and this and that and all that nonsense, and when you look at wokeism today, doesn't it look like the marching boots of Germany with
Oh,
instead of
absolutely.
the Nazi swastika, you've got the what is that? That
Whatever it is,
whatever that multicolored stupid thing
that
which that
flag,
they
yeah, the
wear.
rainbow flag.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is authoritarianism, it's fascism, it's the same thing. It's completely authoritarian, it's completely ad hoc. Whatever they decide today is the new
That's
thing,
it.
new in thing.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
there's no logic, there's nothing. And what do they really stand for? They stand for nothing. They stand for whatever their puppet masters decide is important today. So yes, it is very much the same thing. It is very much fascistic, authoritarian, dictatorial, all of that. They demand unquestioning obedience, and they say that if the resistance is futile. That is, I mean, what else is it? It's another form of Nazism, fascism, or authoritarianism, and they claim to be what the good people, the ones who are liberal. And where's the
Tolerant and
liberalism? Tolerance? Where's the tolerance? They tolerate nothing. They tolerate no
nothing.
dissent. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. So that's
People like
another.
you and I
So
will get beaten up. I mean, let's be clear. They'll thrash people like us, yeah, for speaking the
yes.
way we are speaking. If we walk in, let's say, California or somewhere like that, where it's Wookistan, oh boy,
Why are you
we're
not
in
gay?
deep trouble. Yeah. I mean, I
So
have no
yeah,
problem with being somebody being gay or anything like that.
I
But the
have no problem
point
with not
is,
being gay, with anyone being gay. Yeah, but
I have friends
yeah.
who are
So
gay, but that's okay. The point
yeah,
is about and by the way, the gay people that I know, if so I sometimes somebody will call me up, LGBTQ, kya ho raha hai? Marunga tere ko. That's the only thing that comes out from that. Don't call me that. I hate
mm,
that. And they are so, they don't like this. Boss, this is you're what are you doing?
exactly. What are they doing? I mean, they have brought this entire sexuality thing to the forefront of everything. That's none of anyone's business what you do
Yeah,
in your private life.
yeah, yeah.
But today, your entire identity is about what you do in your bedroom. So I don't know what sort of thing this is, but yeah, it's a great means of controlling people.
Yep, yep,
Very
yep. And
powerful means of controlling people.
as I was saying, to me, it really looks like the Fourth Reich.
It is, yeah, kind of, yeah, very
You,
much,
you,
completely intolerant. And yeah, I mean, they have these the entire armies at their disposal now. They say a word and this army will be unleashed on campuses or wherever they want.
I'm going to ask you, जय हिंद। जाने से पहले मैं 1 मिनट के लिए आपको रोक लूं, तो प्लीज ये चैनल को लाइक जरूर करिएगा, सब्सक्राइब करिएगा, और हाँ, हमारे जो मेन चैनल को जरूर जरूर अपनी फॉलोशिप दीजिए, ताकि हम आपको अच्छे अच्छे पॉडकास्ट, इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट्स एंड जियोपॉलिटिकल अपडेट से आपके सामने प्रेजेंट करते रहें इसी तरह से। थैंक यू सो मच। जय हिंद, जय भारत।